What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to My Hero Academia Vigilantes, this time with episode 7. Yep, episode 7. Really good episode last week with us seeing pretty much the origin of Stain and his hero killing ways, which I thought was really cool. Quite a disturbing sequence at the end of the episode, but hopefully we get a bit more of that throughout the series. I think that would be a really nice addition to the main series, and kind of adding a bit more to that, which is cool. But I've really enjoyed this just as its own thing as well, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds in that regard. So yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. We do see this girl quite prominently, so, and I really like her design. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. University. Ochi. What? Her reaction to that was yay. Creeper? I mean, that is really close to Crawler. What's this thing then? What's this thing we're going to be helping her with? So this is an older girl. I assume she's a student as well, though. Again, I quite like her design. It's simple, but looks nice. The Creeper. To be fair, when you do hear the Crawler, the thing that would come to my mind would be a villain. To be honest, even though I'm a big fan of like insects and stuff, I think the normal human reaction is to be afraid of creepy crawlies. So it does invoke a more villainous kind of thing. I've mentioned this in previous episodes. I'd like to see the Crawler kind of against like a big target or something, like a Gigantomachia, which I doubt we'll see in this series, but like crawling all over him like a bug or insect or something, like Spider-Man. That'd be really cool. Not sure like what that would achieve. Maybe give him like some burn marks, like a Chinese burn or something. I don't know. But that's the thing. I think we don't know the true definition of the crawler's quirk, but I imagine it's kind of essentially being frictionless. So he just slides on things. So that very much wouldn't be able to give someone a Chinese burn. I don't know, he could like hold some rope or something, I don't know. It could be used in some way, I imagine. Maybe just to annoy. To distract. What is your plan here? I was gonna say, there's one entrance. The Creeper. Now that wouldn't be the first time she's wore his jacket. That is quite, yeah, that is quite accurate. What's going on right now? Makes sense. Oh, this is cool as well. Learning about the actual like history works. Because I imagine that was quite controversial. I think there's a lot more to explore in that. I couldn't have just been some light thing to just be like, yeah, we've got heroes now. I imagine again there's a lot of oh shit. These look like the proper classic comic book heroes, these don't they? Looks a bit like Robin. Um yeah, as I was saying, I think that would be really interesting. They summed it up really shortly there, but that could be really interesting. I imagine it would again be quite political actually, the advent of heroes and making those vigilantes heroes, and I imagine you'd probably get hit with quite a bit of backlash at that. And there'd probably be all sorts of inquests into how you'd classify uh, the actions of a hero. What exactly are they allowed to do in comparison to like the actual law enforcement? Do they have the same? Are they allowed to arrest people in the same way? Are they allowed to use violence? Like, yeah, they're allowed to kill people. I mean, you wouldn't expect a hero to kill someone, but in the nature of their powers, some of them are just really strong, and that might accidentally happen. So, as I said, that could be maybe another spin-off for the show, to be honest. And I'd enjoy learning a bit more about that. But yeah, as I said, quite cool that we're actually getting even more again to add into the uh, the main series here. Now, one on the right kind of looks a bit like Owlman from I think he's Owlman. I forget the name. I haven't watched it in ages, but from Watchmen. These guys all look very familiar, don't they? You know what? That makes sense. That does kind of make sense. Actually, using that as a standard, not so much for heroes, but to classify a villain. Interesting. And again, funny enough, a lot of those guys did look a lot like Watchmen characters, don't they? Who will watch the Watchmen? Man, imagine all it took to pass a test was a 2 minute review of that. That would be a nice world to live in, wouldn't it? So what are we gonna do for her? And you came to the perfect person. It must be pretty hard to be called a living fossil, though. You are a living fossil. She's not wrong, but. And that's you. Wow. To be honest, I said she came to the perfect person. Perhaps she didn't. Because he obviously can't be a bodyguard and a vigilante at the same time. Like I said, she's cute. I do like her design. So, good on him. It's interesting. What's up with her eyes? She's got no pupils. She's got not much of anything in her eyes, actually. Dark. I wonder what that's about. Well, I've always needed glasses, but I've never liked the idea of contact lenses or stuffing anything into my eye like this. It's never been an option for me. I don't know what it is about that. Maybe it's just because I've seen plenty of horror movies where bad stuff happens to people's eyeballs, and like Dead Space, the game, for example, and Final Destination 5. Maybe it's that, but yeah, I've never liked that idea. He hasn't got no eyes either. Spectre. Is it to hide their identity? Sister. So what I'm going to assume their eyes are normal, and she was just wearing contacts to either stand out a bit more or hide her identity to some degree. It's quite funny. I'm literally now got around to playing Persona 5 for the first time, and it's covering something quite similar to this actually. It's quite funny as well. I literally just mentioned that, and quite a few creatures that look quite similar to quite a few of the Persona creatures literally just showed up right here. But yeah, I played 3 and 4, and really enjoyed those. 4 being my favorite, although I really do like 3 as well. I'll say 5's probably my least favorite so far, but I'm only like 3 palaces into the game, I think, so I've got quite a bit left. Off topic there though, but like I said, I'm playing that, and that's covering like a slightly similar situation at the minute with vigilantism and your own kind of sense of justice. It's always really interesting. I was thinking about that yesterday. It's like the police and all the governments as such, pretty much a collective consciousness of people's justice. But does that make it more or less right than a certain individuals? Don't really know about that actually. It could get warped, being filtered through so many people and such. And yeah, I think it's better than one person's, but who's anyone to judge that? I don't know. It's a big topic. Pop step. So I imagine she was angry to begin with, just because she had to hide and suffer through that. But I think like as that went on, she just got more pissed off with the fact that there's a girl in the room talking to Crawler. Ooh, that was nice. Little sweep. It's hard. It must be hard fighting someone on the floor like that as well, because you can't like punch down there, and you'll lose your balance if you try to. It's really awkward. That is one really cool thing, and another cool thing about that ability, it is really smooth. Everybody likes something smooth like that, don't they? Yeah, the obvious thing would be to use your legs instead and like stomp on the floor at him like a bug. But again, you'll lose your balance. Having one balancing on one leg for that brief moment could be the end of the fight. So he'd be a really annoying opponent, I think. What I'm trying to say here. That is the classic saying. Well, yeah, but you classify this as professional. The whole point is that it's not professional, but it still works here. Don't mix personal and vigilantism. Jeez, that's look pretty good. Unfortunately for you, Pop Step. I always see a little weirdos talking about Pop Step's design. I always see little weirdos. I'll give my views on it. I actually quite appreciate the I don't like the idea of censoring, but I quite like the different design actually. However, as I said, you get weirdos just on the complete other spectrum of that. Just like anything that should be even more revealing, and it's like, at this point, you might as well just watch a certain other type of anime. Sorry guys, I was just absolutely yapping there for a minute. So yeah, it's pretty gross when you see like comments like that. It's like, I hate the censoring. It should be like, again, I don't like the idea of censoring, but I don't agree that it should be even more. Oh shit, my timer was absolutely messed up. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I don't agree that it should be even more in that kind of egregious way. I mean, if the author wants to draw it like that, fine. I don't like it, but it's his decision and right. I'm just I don't have to like it, but I'm not sure I want to see it censored. But again, in this instance, I quite like the new design. So good point, actually. Again, when I think of that, I think of a little bit of like Peter Parker and like how he's appreciated by the locals and does little things for them. I think most of the time, see vigilantes quite appreciated by their local kind of the clawman. Oh dear, this is awkward. But yeah, I think they're usually quite appreciated by their local kind of setting, whereas I think in the wider span of things, they're not as appreciated. Yeah, perhaps. See, this is like what I think about when I think about like vigilantes, helping people like that. See, like that's that's see there. That unfortunately, like that's one of the negatives of the censoring, which I just mentioned. Like you'll get this joke that doesn't make quite as much sense because her outfit's different. Like they obviously just adapted this joke one for one. Yeah, it doesn't quite work as well here because they censored it, and like that was quite fun. I mean, again, that's one of the negatives you get from stuff like that. So the evidence is like, yeah, it's evident. Yeah, I was about to say the evidence is evident. But as I said, I feel like the benefits of that censoring outweighs the that little joke there for me anyway. It's still funny, but if I didn't know about the censoring, like that joke wouldn't have made as much sense. Oh, damn! Why does this guy look really recognizable to me? He looks a little bit like the characters from Beavis and Butthead. I've never watched that show. I've only ever seen it in relation to Jackass, I think. But it kind of looks like that guy. Okay, I'd love to understand this. Um, I'd love to understand all of what these graphs are saying here. Sorry about the going back again, but I do just want to. I'm interested in the results here. So again, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to understand all of it, but she's gonna summarize it here, which is cool. Yeah, I'd love to maybe see those graphs translated. But and she's cute, brilliant. He's scary and dangerous, creepy, handy but creepy, decent but weird but creepy. Well, all look at that. All of hers was about her butt. Look at that, like 3/4. 3/4, and that just tells you, like I said, like when you make a character a fan service and you make the character just that, I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good writing or anything. I think that's just like it's lazy. So Jesus Christ, this guy's got feet. His quirk is soccer. Why is this guy not a professional footballer then? That actually raises another point. How do you like legislate sports in this universe? Like I said, you have this guy's quirk that is soccer. Like, do you allow him to play soccer professionally? Because he'll obviously be the best player. Do you allow people like Ishida to play soccer? Because he'll obviously just be ridiculous at it. Or is it like limited to normal people without quirks? Oh, it's got a rainbow. That touch was just unnecessary. I mean, you could say it all is, but that touch there especially. Oh, do you know what, that reminded me of Super Mario Strikers. Man, I remember playing that in like the 2010s on the Wii. That was a sick game. But yeah, as I said, I wonder like you allowed people again like Ishida to be 100-meter sprinters in the Olympics. Like, surely you can't allow that because all of the Olympics and every sporting event would just be filled with people with quirks. But then, why not allow them? Because they are humans as well. It's like it's very fine Yeah, it's just that's something I'd be really interested to hear about as well. Actually, how do sporting events work? Are they just not a thing? Should data like her whole character is butt? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Pop Step's whole character is butt. We had that really awesome backstory of her, but I think when you think of a character, like initially, you think of their design and you think of the oh shit, she's a lie detector. Oh shit, that's a really cool quirk. But it didn't work. Sorry, I won't even bother sorting out the timer. But yeah, in what I was saying about Pop Step again, I don't believe her whole like I said, she had that really awesome backstory about her and Crawler a couple episodes ago. She's very much more than that. But it's unfortunate you get certain YouTubers and people that will just all they care about is the fan service, and that's all you. I really, especially in the last few seasons, I really hated seeing like some of my favorite characters. ReZero was a big example of this. Every time you'd see like a big YouTuber or someone like tweet about the show, it would just be about some silly tiny bit of fan service that was shown in the show rather than the actual character arcs and the story that's going on right now, and that would be the main advertisement for the show, and I just really don't appreciate that. I'm not sure where that like comes from and if that's even like a good thing. That might be a bad thing from my part because any advertisements I guess good advertisement, but yeah, when you reduce her to just that and reduce all the topic about her just to that one specific part, it's like you just disregard a lot of writing there. So yeah, again, it's interesting that scene with the whole public perception talking about her butt being 3/4 of the topic. That is quite ironic considering in real life that's pretty much what's going on as well. People are just talking about her design and the changes rather than talking about her as a character. So that's a little bit meta right there in how they wrote her character. To be honest, isn't it? Quite like that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this girl's quirk. It's like it's not powerful or anything, but it's really cool to just have like built into you. I wonder why it didn't work here. Is it because you said Clawman and not Crawler? So if you said Crawler right there, it would have come back as false. Okay. So I got to be specific with your wording. But yeah, I really like that's a really cool quirk. I like that quirk a lot. Oh, you just got to be more specific. And that tells you quite a bit about him as well. Like, I mean, it's nothing like major, but that just tells you how much he doesn't reside with the name Clawman. It tells you how much he wants to be called Crawler and how much he believes he is Crawler, not Clawman. Because I think that would come back as false for pretty much like a lot. I think if you asked a lot of people in his position, if he was the Clawman, that would come back as false for a lot of people because they would think, oh, Clawman is the same as the Crawler. But there's such a distinction in his mind that that still came back as false. It's pretty impressive, actually, that he believes in that name that much. Again, it doesn't really say a whole lot, I don't think, but it's just interesting. Like, when they do say claw man, you do see someone very different. Like crawler, I'm thinking of someone floor based, like a cockroach insect like. Whereas with claw man, I'm thinking about like a man with pincers and crab pincer things and claws. I don't know. They're two very different images in my mind, so perhaps that's also what plays into it a little bit. But I've always wondered about those polygraph tests and stuff in general. I'm not sure they're all too accurate. I think they are to a degree, but you can't ever use them in like a law regard, or you can't ever use them to actually, you can't ever be 100% sure of those things, so you can't ever actually use them in a super beneficial way. They're fun. I think you can have quite a bit of fun with those tests, but when you actually get down to serious business, I don't think they can be used, to be honest. And her whole quirk is that, so it's quite funny. I assume it's super accurate. It is 100% accurate with her. Hence, we saw the fact that it was the truth about him not being the Claw Man. But it would be quite funny if her quirk was actually just the unreliable kind of polygraph test we have as humans, and her quirk wasn't even actually kind of 100% accurate. That would be quite annoying, I think. No, you were born with a slightly unuseful quirk. Captain Celebrity. We see this guy in the opener. I think we'll stick with All Might. This guy, American guy in Japan. We'll see how that goes. But let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. Lots of interesting stuff today. Again, I really like the whole dive into the initial set of heroes being vigilantes, and there being like 7 out of like 200 people, and they're actually less so to make heroes, but more so to kind of set a boundary on villains, and where the vigilantism kind of stops and becomes dangerous and so on. I thought that was really cool. Really like her character. Again, I'm not really sure what's going on with the eyes. Like I said, it might just be like cosmetics, but why? And it might just be like how she's designed under there. But like, surely there's something specifically. Again, it might just be a character quirk, but again, surely there must be something behind the fact that she wears the contact lenses, and it's just like there's not normal eyes behind them. They're just like blank, dark eyes. Like, is there something there? I didn't really understand anything in that regard today, so if you guys figured anything out, please do let me know. But yeah, quite a few cool quirks shown here today. I quite like her quirk. Again, very meta in regards to this. As I said, with the whole conversation about pop step, that is quite hilarious actually. I think maybe the author probably thought that as well and decided to put this in this scene. I imagine it was in the manga, but if it wasn't, I think that was a brilliant addition. And I'm not sure, I imagine you get feedback. Again, I'm not really sure how mangas kind of work. You got to imagine the author does hear feedback about the series, so maybe you just heard a bunch of feedback about pop step and then just thought, well, everyone's talking about this, I'll make a bit of a joke of it in this scene here. But really cool episode today. Let me know what you guys thought about this one in the comments though. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next week with episode 8.